Hey everybody, Hernke here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm joined by my friend and a very special guest, Andy Forrest. He's been in a lot of commercials. Reoccurring character Kyle on Parks and Rec. Andy, thank you for joining me today, buddy.
Wayne's World, excellent.
Yeah, couch talk, right?
It is.
Hello,
welcome. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to Hans's home.
Yes, in my home. Thank you for coming here.
The party house.
That's right. He knows all about our Christmas parties.
Christmas.
Don't you?
I thought they were Hanukkah parties.
We could do one day. We could mix it up, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
They're awesome though. Hans is awesome. Nice guy. Good guy.
So is he. Good man. So, Andy, what brought you to LA? Because you're from Ohio, is that correct?
I am. I'm from the little town of Tiffin, Ohio, and I was studying acting in college. I joined theater in high school because I was very socially awkward, and I thought it'd be a way to meet people, and sort of became my social outlet, and I enjoyed it so much that I studied in college. But in college, I really had no idea how one went from a small liberal arts college to going to Los Angeles. That was a huge gap in information that I had no idea, and so I didn't. I worked in a children's theater, and I did an outdoor drama. I did a couple things, and then I got a real job for probably 8 years, I think it was. Several real jobs, and but ultimately, one of my jobs moved me to Seattle, and I was there for 4 years, and then after that, while I was there, I was studying improv and screenwriting. And I came down to a seminar here called Words into Pictures, which we had in 1997, I think it was. And within 3 months after that, I moved down here, and I have not regretted it. I did pretty well commercially when I first moved down here, and that sort of got me going on things. And am I talking loud enough?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, you're good. Don't worry.
I feel like I'm sort of talking deep in my throat.
Oh no, that's good.
It's deep throat here. So Hans, this is what you have to do to get in the porn industry.
That's right. We're in the valley, so we're in the right spot for that, aren't we?
Yeah. So anyway, I moved down here, and at the time I moved down here, I used there was a new thing called CastNet, which doesn't, I think, exist anymore. And I blanketed, sent out submissions to a lot of commercial agents, and somebody showed interest in me, and so I signed up with them. I mean, I actually had 2 agents prior to that, but they were very, very, very small agents, and my current commercial agent is still my same commercial agent, and she's been pretty good. She's a boutique agency, but she's been good for me for 20 years. So
that's awesome. What was a memorable commercial that you've remembered working on?
Oh, the easily the best one was a T-Mobile commercial I did. Catherine Zeta-Jones was the host, and in the original commercial, I'm obsessing over the phone bill, and my son drives to the garage door, and I complained to him about the bill, and my daughter's on the phone telling me she's got A's, and I'm like, yeah, but what about the phone bill? And then they cut to my third child, who's a boy, but he's in a dress and putting on lipstick, and I'm like 3 calls in 1 minute or 1 day,
yeah,
and they eventually cut that one out. I think maybe they got some PC things at the time. They're like, you can't show a cross-dressing kid on TV. I don't know why, but they didn't. But that commercial went for a long time. But the most interesting thing about that commercial is when we were shooting it, and it was the scene with the son, who was the cross-dresser. We were in Toluca Lake, and we were shooting, I think we started shooting my side, and we ran out of time in the day. But they were coming back to shoot the tag for Catherine Zeta-Jones, and that was going to be shot in Canada, Toronto, Canada. And so, in Toronto, Canada, they rebuilt the other side of the room on the soundstage. So, if you watch that scene, when they look at me, you're in Los Angeles, and when they look at the sun, you're in Canada. And
wow,
it was crazy. That was crazy, but it was fun.
So they replicated a house that was here in LA. Almost
just 2 walls of that bedroom.
Okay.
That direction of the shooting is what they replicated. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing what those guys can do.
Yeah.
Very accurate. I remember Seen that commercial on TV a lot too. Back when it was airing.
It ran in three different incarnations over the years. It ran like it first ran, and then I think it ran like it skipped a year and then it ran again. And I can't remember either the second or third time Catherine Zeta-Jones was no longer the spokeswoman for T-Mobile, so they actually took that part out of it. So, but it ran for a long time.
And you did KFC, right?
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was sort of an improvised thing with two uncles on a couch and their nephew, and that was a lot of fun.
Did you have to eat the KFC?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Did they make you spit it out?
Oh, we did, just because there's so much of it. But I love KFC. I love chicken. So
me too.
But it's funny. Like earlier on, I don't know how long ago it was, but there was like a 7-year period of time where I was trying to eat really healthy. So I was eating vegan, and I only became vegan because when I was a vegetarian, I would eat cheese when I didn't eat meat. So I tried vegan for a while. I'm no longer. I eat pretty much anything now, but as you can tell. I did a commercial for Delta Airlines, and I had to eat ice cream in it. I was vegan at the time, and I'm like, yeah, but it's a commercial, so I'm going to do it. So
yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Delta Airlines. Product placement.
Thanks for the ice cream.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we can get some endorsements here. Let's just start name dropping. Hershey's, Kit Kat,
Snickers,
yeah,
Twix,
Mars bars,
Mickey ice cream bars,
Kohl's department store,
Nestle, right? Nestle.
Brought to you by water.
That's right. So going into television, Parks and Rec. How did you land that role, and what was it like working with Chris Pratt, he's a superstar now?
Well, interestingly, I auditioned for the role of Kyle, and originally he was supposed to be, I think he used to work in Water and Power, but they rewrote it, and he ended up not ever having any sort of designation even throughout the whole thing. Although in the finale you actually saw him in his office working across from, I think her name was Edith, was the old lady on the show. Anyway, so I did the first thing. It was a small thing where he insults me and yells at me and throws my briefcase. And it was a very fun little bit, and it was just supposed to be a one-off. But then about a week or two later, they were shooting another scene at the shoe shine stand with another character, and they needed somebody in the chair, and they said, oh, well, let's bring that guy back. So they had me come back. I didn't even have any lines that time. But that sort of started the ball rolling. And then after that, they started calling me in, and I was sort of on the show, Jim O'Hare played Jerry, and Jerry was sort of the whipping boy of everybody, and they'd pick on him, and I was sort of that for Chris Pratt. And probably the main reason, Chris is great, and probably one of the main reasons that thing got going like that is because Chris was so giving in his improv, and his acting, that it really sort of drew me in and built me up. So I'm grateful for that. And he was actually on the show when he started Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think was his first big movie.
Yeah.
And he is very grateful to them because he was contractually belonged to Parks and Rec, but they let him go do that stuff, and because of that, he has a huge career. Well, not just because of that, but that was one way in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very cool.
Well, that was nice of them to do that.
It was, yeah.
And it's awesome that you got to work with them too. How many episodes were you on the show?
I think it was 17.
17?
Yeah,
and how many seasons did they run?
They ran, I think, 7 seasons, I think. I'm not sure, I'm sorry. But I actually didn't start until the second season.
Okay.
And there may have been a season, so I was a few every season. But I don't think I was on every season. So. And
they just had a big reunion, too. I saw some of the pictures and...
Yeah. It was. They did a talk at the Paley Fest, and then they had a reunion afterwards, which I went to.
That's awesome. I saw all the pictures and jealous. You got to meet him, and it looks like Jamie had fun too. as well.
Yeah.
Is there
My daughter,
anything?
Jamie.
Is there anything else that you like doing besides acting that's film related?
Well, I've known many people over the years that are writers, and they work really hard at writing. They spend their day writing. And so I would never claim to be a writer in that sense, but I do write. I write when I'm inspired, and I've written a lot of sketches, and I've written a couple screenplays, and I've actually shot a movie that I wrote. But I don't really consider myself a writer because no one's ever really paid me for it. Well, they've got a little bit of money once, but I'm not really a professional writer in that sense. But I do love writing, and it's a lot of fun. And right now we're doing a sketch comedy show on YouTube. It's called Still Watching. It's www.stillwatching.us. And it's people I've known for 20 years that we used to do improv at the same place. And now we create sketch comedy, and we're trying to further that right now.
Right on.
So that's one of the things. And I've got in the works I've got some ideas for some other YouTube series that I want to do on my own as well, and I would love to do a pilot. I've got so I got some things I'm working.
It's really
I always the big question I think I think is best to ask is what's next. Like you wake up during the day, and you have certain things you have to do. You've got habits that you set up, but you have to ask yourself what's next? What am I going to do next? Because if you look at my IMDb page, I don't know if that sounded weird. I've got a good pedigree of stuff that I've done over the 20 years I've been here, but it's like an atom is like a nucleus, and there's more nothing in that than there is something, and in 20 years it's like there's a vast amount of time where you aren't doing much, or you're serving other people, either literally or figuratively, and you aren't acting. You go out, you audition, and you audition, and you audition, and then you book something, and you audition 20 more times, and you book something, and there are periods of time where you're not auditioning. And then there are periods of time where you're like, well, I'm going to do something on my own because I need to fulfill myself. So you shoot a web series, or you should make an indie film. And I've done a lot of that over the years. And there are times you're like, I'm done doing indie films. And I've done sketches 10 years ago and then before that. And there are years where I haven't done anything in that sense. And now I'm doing them again. So
awesome. I want to plug your Still Watching. So it's down. It'll be down a link below, and also Lemke Brothers.
It's right there.
Right?
Yeah, Lemke Brothers.
Is that the one you're referring to? The one that you?
Yes. Yeah, you were in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm Indian. I played an Indian, and we
played,
had to.
You played too, weren't you? You were also one of the factory workers, right?
Yes, and a factory worker as well. And we shot a wild fight scene inspired by the pie fight of the Great Race, right?
Yeah.
Right at the Burbank police station. No, wait, the North Hollywood police station.
Shh. Don't tell them. Yeah.
In the community room.
Yeah. Those guys are great. They're really wonderful to let us do that. Even though they didn't really know they were letting us do that. We
were rehearsing.
We were rehearsing.
Yeah.
But it was the quietest fight you've ever seen because we're in a police station. So it's like we're all MOS fighting, and then we added some sounds later and stuff.
That was good fun, man. I really enjoyed that.
I'm sorry, the movie holds up. I watched it again about 6 months ago because I'm like, I'll go in and re-edit it, and I'm like, I don't know, it's a labor of love. It's a film that was made on a micro budget, but it's a story with heart. The Lemke Brothers, that's on YouTube also. The whole movie's on YouTube, and worth checking out. It's a story about. It was based on some friends of mine, J. Anthony McCarthy and Ross Steves. And J. Anthony just has a new movie out now. It's an indie film called Boris and the Bomb.
Yeah.
And
I want to see that.
And anyway, they used to do this improv on stage where they were like, and J. Anthony's a really big guy. He's like strong. He's like in the top 1% strong people of the world. Like he's like super strong. And Ross is no slack either. He's like he's more built like Hans here, but like a little more muscular, and but about your size. And like, but he was a trained. I don't know if he was a trained dancer, but he was a dancer. And these guys, like, they could literally, the one could lift the other one up. And so they would do these, this, like, sort of really bad dance routine. It was hilarious. And so we came up with a backstory that they were, at first it was going to be there were two Eastern European brothers that wanted to become dancers, but just weren't very good at it. But then I ultimately in the script made them Russian, or I guess I should say Soviet. We set it back a few years. And so it's about these brothers that discover the art underground, and they decide to come to the United States to become professional dancers. And it's a fun story.
Yeah, good film. I had a lot of fun working on it.
I want to apologize because in like the one of the sex sex of people in the film are American Indians, and while I know a few American Indians, there are no American Indians in the movie. So our American Indians are not unlike the early Hollywood American Indians played by white guys or Jewish people. So. So I want to apologize for that, but remember, it's for comedy effect. So, because I appreciate Native Americans, and that was bad.
Oh, it was all good, man.
Yeah. Well, to you, are you Native American?
No.
Damn it! I thought I was going to get a pass card from you.
No, it was a fun movie. I had a lot of fun being a part of it, and there's more to come. There's definitely more to come.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on stuff all the time, and. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
So tell me about you guys. Where are you at right now? You thinking about getting into this, or are you already in this and you just don't know where to go? Right, I'm going to tell you what to do.
Yes, listen to him.
So when you come out here, probably the first thing you're going to want to do is get into some classes. First of all, make sure you're taken care of. Make sure you have a safe, good place to stay, and don't spend a lot of money. Get as economical a place to live as possible that's in a safe place. Make sure you have roommates, because that way you have somebody here. Like get in an improv class to make some friends. That's helpful. But the acting class you're going to want to take is like an acting business class, like someplace that puts you on camera, helps you break down copy to work on either commercial or TV and film stuff. Big name acting classes are great to learn to be a great actor, but you need some to get your feet on the ground as far as the business and the industry of Hollywood, because there's commercials and then there's TV and film, and it's changing a lot. When I started out, commercials were very heavy union. Now they're sort of non-union, which is a blessing and a curse for somebody who comes out here that's not union, because you might have some opportunity to get in a commercial. But you're going to ultimately want to become union, and then you can't really do non-union commercials. So, it's a crazy world. You want to be able to support yourself. Find something you like to do that you can do that's flexible. I mean, it's sort of stereotypical, but they talk about like becoming a waiter, and we've all done it. I've been a waiter. You've done catering. We've done stuff, and even now I'm doing stuff for money. I mean, I still have money jobs sometimes because. Last year I didn't have to have a money job, but this year I have to have a money job. And the downside is that it sucks your time, because I have my own personal projects that I'm trying to work on for TV and film. But that's where I'm at. So there are ways to do this if you really want to do it. But just make sure you take care of yourself. Create a support system for yourself financially and with people and friends. And there you go.
Well said, man. Well, you and Randy and all those guys, Scott, Rudolph, you guys are part of my support system, and I love working with you guys. So
we've known each other, all of us, for a long time now. So
yeah,
and yeah, let us know when you get into town.
Absolutely. Please support Andy in his career. Links will be down in the description below, so you can check out the Hernke Brothers, Parks and Rec. If you haven't seen it yet, watch it.
Still watching.us.
Yep. And all the other stuff that's coming up will be... You have a website too, right?
I do, andyforrest.com.
All right.
It's very old school, because I'm very sort of backwards technology guy.
Me too.
In fact, that's the other thing. Like, you guys are going to have it so much easier because you already know Instagram. Like, I'm trying to learn Instagram. Hey.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
You'll get there. Thank you again for watching. Please subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification button below for more interviews, more food reviews, more Disneyland stuff coming up. This is Hernke signing off, and Andy Forrest.